I am back today with one of the largest ARs I've ever shot. This is the brand new BC-8 Huntmaster chambered in 300 Winchester Magnum from Bear Creek Arsenal. If you follow the channel, you'll know I review a lot of Bear Creek Arsenal products, and they're always pushing the limits of what can be done with calibers in the AR platform, especially considering people being on a budget and affordability in mind, and this rifle was no different. If you've seen 300 Winchester Magnum ARs in the market, you've seen them go well above $3,500 to $4,500 depending on the configuration, and Bear Creek Arsenal did something pretty impressive in my opinion, making a reliable AR chambered in 300 Winchester Magnum that comes in at about $2,000. Now again, this is definitely not the cheapest AR on the market, but it fills a niche of slinging the 300 Winchester Magnum in a semi-auto platform half the price of its competitors, and they've done a really good job, including a lot of nice specs and features and overall great performing rifle down at the range. Now, before we get too far into it, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's ammo, Target Sports USA. I actually signed up for their Ammo Plus membership service and grabbed this PPU 300 Winchester Magnum for about $23 a box. And when you sign up for that Ammo Plus membership, you get 8% off and free shipping with no order minimum. So if you buy a rifle like this and you want to try it out with a few boxes, you can do that and still get free shipping. And right now it's pretty cool because if you sign up for that Ammo Plus membership and buy some Hornady ammo, you can actually get entered for the Hunt 2024, which is a giveaway with an all expenses paid trip for a really cool hunt in Colorado. Now there's more information on their site, so you'll definitely want to check it out, but it's brought to you by Target Sports USA and Hornady Ammunition. But enough about that, let's get back into the overview of this Bear Creek Arsenal rifle. One of the first things you're going to notice about that are there are a few configurations on the website, and what we were shooting is the 24-inch barrel version. This barrel is absolutely massive, but as you can see, it's actually reasonably well balanced and lightweight for a 24-inch 300 Magnum semi-auto rifle. I can easily pick it up and maneuver it around. One of the first things I was a little bit worried about when I grabbed this rifle was going to be so heavy you couldn't use it for any practical functions, but in reality you can tote this rifle around fairly easy. Now again, it's going to be a lot more cumbersome than traditional 308, but you can get this with the 20-inch barrel, and if you were going to be using this for hunting applications where you're going to be carrying it in, I would highly recommend the 20-inch barrel version. Now, the 24-inch barrel version is really going to sling that 300 Winchester Magnum incredibly quick for those distance shots. So if you're getting this as more of a bench rest rifle or an anti-material rifle, the 24-inch is going to be great. Now, one thing to note, the second thing I noticed in the box is it comes with two 5-round magazines. Now, I believe I could get about 6 in here, but they're designed to be 5-round magazines, and they work really good, but they're about $100 a piece if you want to get more. The rifles themselves come with 2. Now, as a reference, this is a 300 Magnum soft point, and I'll try to get the camera focused in for you guys right here. And this is a 308. So there is the size difference, and that's why you have to get a longer receiver set to get everything fitted in here. So this is not going to be kind of backwards retrofittable with other AR-10s or other ARs on the market. I would highly recommend you stick with BCA to BCA to get everything to work correctly, and I believe you can buy the upper separately. They may be offering the lower separate in the future, but the best thing to do is head over to the campsite page and check out the deals page. The other thing I want to mention about BCA is they've got a ton of other deals going on right now in their limited run deal section, as well as their bear den deal section, or deals den sections. Something revolving a bear, a deal, and a den. But I link all of those over on the campsite page for the best opportunities, and I keep up with it so you guys don't have to. I'm also posting stuff on my Instagram stories, and if you're not following me over there, there's been some really good deals this week that have sold out within 30 minutes. So the guys follow me on those other platforms with the notifications turned on are getting the jump on a lot of deals. So you can be one of those guys too by following me and clicking those notification bells and subscribing to this channel. But let's continue with the video. The barrel itself is again a Parkerized finish barrel in either the 20 or 24 inch configuration, and the gas system is specifically tuned for the 300 Winchester Magnum. It's going to be very hard to compare the gas system with anything else on the market because there's just really no equivalence. There's just not a lot out there. So everything is specifically tuned for this rifle, and I do want to say this is gassed beautifully. It truly mitigates the recoil of the massive 300 Winchester Magnum, and it chambers and loads correctly, and that's because in part due to the gassing system and the length of the gas system. The next thing I want to mention is surrounded by an M-LOK rail system, and this is a nice solid M-LOK rail system. Not the best in the entire world, but definitely not the worst. Just a great general purpose M-LOK rail system with QD slots at the front, and it tapers down right here. And if for some reason you did want to run iron sights, it's got pick rail at the end. And for something like this, I don't mind that the pick rail section is actually cut out. It's actually very slick because it allows for a taper to fit those larger diameter scopes. We'll actually be reviewing this scope in the future, so stay tuned. It's a high-value CV life scope. Now, this is a side charging upper assembly, and I haven't really had any issues with the side charging upper assemblies after the Gen 2 version, which is this hooked right here. They used to have a rotating knob that occasionally could come loose, but with this new version with the cupped scoop or hook right here, it has been working great. I love it, and they've been doing this now for about 5 or 6 years, I believe, with no issues there. Now, this is a billet receiver set, so everything is machined nicely, mated together perfectly, and the anodization matches up great. You do see some slight color differences between the rail and the upper. It's a little bit more evident on camera, not necessarily in person. You really don't notice that at all in person. I just wanted to mention that as the light catches the receiver. Now, inside here, you do have a more traditional mag release, but again, the mags are proprietary and they work great. They're actually an incredibly well-built magazine, machined metal, just a solid magazine, especially when you consider how much they are. Now, the grips and triggers are interchangeable. This one is going to come with a velocity trigger, and that trigger is very nice. I mean, it's a good, solid trigger that they offer in a lot of their setups. I've been running it right now on some of the 308 upper assemblies, or sorry, 308 builds that I have from these guys, and it makes perfect sense that they would include it in this Huntmaster because this is going to be a precision long-range rifle. So they've really thought about it from front to back where you don't have to be changing stuff out. The next thing I want to mention is the stock choice. This is the full rifle length fixed stock. I would like to see maybe something like a little bit more of a PRS stock with some adjustments or capabilities here. But this is a great stock and it does a very good job. So no real complaints about the stock, but I feel like maybe there could have been just a little bit more done so you wouldn't have to swap this out for those precision 1,000-yard shots where you were dialing everything in perfectly. Now this is still plenty capable. You're just stuck with the fixed length and the cheek well. There's no adjustments up or down. You kind of have to adjust the scope height to fit you rather than adjust the stock for the scope heights and mounts you want, but not that big of a deal. Just something to consider. Again, we're talking about a $2,000 rifle. In summary, if you were looking for a 300 Win Mag semi-auto platform, you'd be amiss not to take a look at this one. It was 100% functional down at the range with no feed or function issues. It was throwing the brass in a very nice pile, and the ejection pattern was perfect. I mean, it just worked. And I do want to reiterate, we were using soft point ammunition. So a lot of times you may have feed issues with soft point in semi-auto platforms, depending on how everything is aligned. But this fed beautifully with no issues whatsoever in the Huntmaster. We didn't run thousands of rounds through this gun. We ran a lot though, and that was thanks to Target Sports USA and me being able to purchase it at a very affordable price, and also those guys sponsoring the channel, allowing us to buy a lot of that ammo. If you're a big fan of the 300 Winchester Magnum, this AR may be right for you. The recoil impulse was not overly large, but you definitely know you're shooting a big caliber, and it balanced nicely in the field. But again, for long range or anti-material purposes, having the 24-inch barrel is great, but for hunting and practical applications where you're going to be carrying around, I would probably stick with the 20-inch barrel. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.